Hey, Michelle, how's it going?
Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Everything's good over here.
All good, all good. No car accidents this week, thank goodness, on my end, but
Knock on wood, knock on wood.
knock on
But
wood. Yeah.
Lindsay, have you ever dinged your car in a parking lot?
I've been accused of it.
Oh, really?
No. Like I've definitely, I'm sure I've done it, but there have also been times when, like, there was one time I was pulling out of my brother's driveway and there was literally nothing behind me, but then all of a sudden there was a big ding in the car, and I don't understand what happened because there was nothing behind me. So that's what I mean by being accused of it, because I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything, but there was a ding. So what about you,
There
Michelle?
was a ding. Yeah. Well, right before I had my son, actually, this was a little more than a ding, but it wasn't a bad accident or anything. This was not my smartest move, but my son was born around Thanksgiving time, and on Black Friday, we all decided to go to the mall.
Oh gosh.
And we were in the parking lot, and some lady hit us in the parking lot. So I would say it was a little more than a ding, but
Okay.
it wasn't terrible or anything. But
Did you exchange insurance? Because usually when you
We
see this happen, yeah, you did. Okay.
yeah, we did. She was nice, she was nice about it and apologetic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so now that I live in a house and I have a garage, I sometimes will just
Oh.
the getting into the garage or getting out of the garage, like I won't be paying
no,
attention, and I'll
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh
it's
no.
not great.
Body work is not cheap. That's what I've learned in the last couple of years.
Oh,
It's
no,
really not
it's-
cheap. Like, I feel like even if you have a small ding, you're gonna pay like a minimum $1,000 to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mind cosmetically, but
Right.
I've had things, alerts on my car that show up, and then I bring oh yeah, well, yeah, on the garage I did break
Oh,
my headlight, and it was
Okay.
like $800 or
I
something.
think we're learning some things about you today, Michelle.
Yeah, exactly. I drive too slow, but then I have trouble with garages.
So maybe our
So-
listeners noticed here what word we were using over and
Ding,
over
ding,
there.
ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Right?
And we're going to talk about this because our wonderful listener, Sophia, asked us a question about the word ding.
Yes.
Lindsay, would you like to read it for us?
Yeah, so Sophia says, "Hi, Allers English team. I'm Sophia. I just want to say I absolutely love your energy. Your episodes always make me smile and keep me motivated to learn." That is so wonderful, Michelle.
Thank you, Sophia. You're the best.
Yeah, we love that. I was curious if you could explain how the word ding, D-I-N-G, is used in English. I'd love to understand it better and hear your tips. Thanks so much for making learning English so fun and lively. You really brighten up my day. Warmly, Sophia. Beautiful.
Sophia.
Beautiful.
Well, right back at you, and thank you for your question.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, great question. I was excited to see this one because I am currently car shopping.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was just speaking to a salesman, and I did use the word ding. It's extremely common.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But what do we want to do first, Lindsay?
Well, of course, we want to say thank you to our amazing reviewers who took the
Yeah.
time to go and rate and review the show and left a comment. So a huge thank you to Yosef Shahabi and a huge thank you to Mehdi Asadi. So guys, we read your reviews every time they come out and we appreciate them. If you haven't left us a review yet, guys, go ahead and do that. Let us know what you think of the show. Maybe even ask your episode question right in your review, and we'll try to announce your name out loud. Okay?
Absolutely. Perfect. So, yeah. So what does it mean to ding something, Lindsay? I
Well,
think our
this is-
listeners can
well,
kind of
yeah.
get it from what we've been saying.
Good question, Michelle. And honestly, it's interesting today because we're actually using ding as we've already so far used ding as a verb and as a noun, right? In this show. So to ding something as a verb is to just, well, make a little mark.
Right. Yeah. It's minor damage, right?
Yeah.
It's generally some sort of small mark or tiny dent or something like that.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I think I dinged my mirror on the garage.
Yeah,
But
or-
then in my way, it was not a ding.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yes.
I Oh, no. And I thought that was the headlight. Excuse me. Yes.
Or you might go in and say to Dan, "Oh, I think I dinged the car," and he goes, "And
then he looks.
That's not a ding. What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Yep.
Or I dinged my bumper, but you can barely see anything. Yes, that's what we hope for, right?
Yeah. So what else does ding mean, though, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said at the top of the show. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So when you get the right answer for something, it's the sound we make for a bell when a bell is ringing, right?
Yep. So, ding, ding, ding. Like you got it right. And could be used sarcastically or, seriously, not seriously, but ding, 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 you're right. Or it can be ding, 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 you finally got it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you think of, I don't know if when you were a kid, you used to watch the game shows on TV.
Yeah, sure.
Wheel of Fortune. I don't know what else there was, but there were a ton of them in the 90s that were out, like in the afternoon TV, and they always used that kind of thing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, ding,
exactly.
Bells. Yeah.
Or you might hear like someone, if you're maybe in a race. I mean, sometimes they use a gun in a race to have someone start running, but maybe it's some sort of bell. So you could say something like, "Oh, when you hear the ding, start running."
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know if you're watching the Olympics now. Right now, we are we're in mid-February. This comes out in I think April, but mid-February, and there are different words for the sounds you hear. Like I was watching the skiing last night, the Super G, the giant slalom, so cool by the way. And for that one, I would have said probably the buzzer. Right, the buzzer went off and she crossed. So that could be another episode for another day.
Yeah, that's fun. The ding, the
buzzer, the buzz, I don't know, different things. So anyways, if it's the sound of a bell, it's ding ding ding.
Yes, right? Exactly. So sorry, I was just making note of that. So but today we're going to really focus on the car way a little more. So we're going to teach you other words for damage to one's car. So what's the first one, Lindsay?
The first one is a scuff. So this is generally with paint. But sometimes it can be wiped off. That's what we hope for, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Have you ever had that where maybe you open the door onto someone else's door?
No, it's the worst.
And you're like, no. But then you just kind of like touch it and it just comes off. That's and that's a relief.
Scenario. That's the best case scenario, right? I bumped her car a little, so I think I scuffed it up, but I was able to rub it off with my finger. Yes. Now a scratch is worse, right?
Yeah. Yep. The scratches to the paint. So that could be an actual issue. So, oh no, there's a scratch on my car. It's brand new.
And even deeper, Michelle, is what?
A dent. Yeah. So that's when the actual kind of metal of the car is pushed in, right?
Yes.
There's a change to the shape.
Right. So you could say there's a huge dent in my car from that accident. I hope insurance will cover it. Yeah, this is where you could just end up at the body shop over and over and over again. Right?
Oh God. Yeah.
Not good. Fun.
Hey, quick question. Do you want to feel more confident when you speak English? If so, we made a free guide for you. It'll help you avoid those common mistakes and start speaking more naturally in real conversations. Go grab it in the description below. And if this is helpful for you, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're here 5 times a week to help you connect in English.
So Michelle, there are a lot of words for these kinds of situations, right? So maybe we could do a follow-up another day. Guys, hit the follow button. We did do a series called Let's Talk Cars.
Yes. So the first episode was Let's Talk Cars Part 1, Why This Builds Connection with Americans. That was episode 2549. And then we had Business English 521. That was Let's Talk Cars Part 2, Take the Wheel in Your Business Conversations.
Yeah. And when we recorded that series, I saw our topic, like, okay, we're going to talk about cars. Cool. But then by the end of that series, I thought, this is really a key to connecting, at least inside American culture. We can't speak about British or Australian, but it's a big part of our culture here.
It's a huge, it's a great connection topic. So definitely listen. And also the third part of that series was Let's Talk Cars Part 3, Essential Car Vocabulary. That was 2558.
So there you go, guys. You got some great episodes picked out for you to check out. Michelle, now let's do a few more fun vocabulary pieces here. What?
This is a fun. This one sounds fun. I mean,
Yeah, this is fun.
Just as long as everyone's okay. A fender bender.
Yeah, and
What's
usually,
a fender bender?
Well, usually everyone is okay in a fender bender, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
kinda
you know,
what-
yeah.
That's what we're saying is it's a small accident. So your fender, well, I'm not really a car person, but I guess it's sort of, isn't it like the bumper kind of, right? No. Ooh, it's.
Oh my, Lindsay.
We don't exactly
now
know.
I'm
It's a part
Googling
of the
a
car. I
fender
think
on
it's
a
below the
car.
bumper,
Oh my
maybe.
gosh. Yes, it's the metal or plastic. Okay, I'm reading
Below the
it. Metal
bumper?
or plastic body panel that frames the wheel wall.
Okay. So
you were right.
So a fender bend is when, your fender has been bent somehow. So a tiny accident. So Tanya got into a fender bender. She's fine, but her car has some minor scratches. It's good to say this as a connection skill because if you say Tanya got into an accident, people might start
That's
to panic.
More
right?
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. That is true. It does sound less than a true accident.
Yeah.
And so, right. You saying fender bender will kind of keep that panic away.
Right. And these kinds of accidents could happen in a parking lot, could happen in like heavy traffic where people are not moving that fast, or a stop sign, maybe where someone makes the wrong turn, that kind of thing. Right.
And then there's hit, right?
Yeah.
My car was hit, but luckily I wasn't even in it.
Yes. Yeah. I know Aubrey has a scary story about being in a car accident when she was in, I think, high school or college.
Yeah.
But it is a connection
Right.
moment because you learn a lot about people, about their past, about things they've been through when you're able to talk about any accidents you've been in, right? God
Yeah.
forbid. I mean,
Yeah. Knock on wood, knock on wood. I hesitated to even plan this because I'm so
I know.
weird
You're
about
so
that stuff.
superstitious about these
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think of myself as a superstitious person, but I'm knocking on everything.
I know I can't find any wood right now. Michelle,
Yeah.
have you ever been in a serious accident?
No, not. I can't even answer this question. I feel like I'm just
Okay.
no,
We'll move on. We'll move on. No.
I've been in fender benders and things
Okay.
like that, but knock on wood, nothing serious.
Okay.
You?
No. Look, I've seen a few, but never been in one. So yeah.
You don't seem as nervous as I am to answer that question.
No, not really. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We're different people, Michelle. We're different people. You're maybe a little more superstitious than I am, or something. I don't know.
Well, it's funny actually because just the other day, I was driving my friends to a basketball game, and they kept on, like, each of them, like one on the way there and one on the way back was like, oh, you're doing a good job, right? Because I kept on being like, oh, which lane and blah blah blah, and I said, don't say that. You're not allowed to say that until I'm actually at the place. So I guess I am superstitious with driving.
I don't like comments when I get comments on my driving at all. Like, I really don't like don't like that in real time, right? When you're in the car, it's just like, oh, just let me drive,
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, all right. Should we do a role play before we head off the mic?
Let's do it, Michelle. So here we were shopping and we came out to the parking lot and your car was clearly hit, right?
Oh. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. What happened here?
Whoa, looks like someone hit your car.
Ugh. Look at this scratch over here.
Oh, I think it's a scuff. I think it can come off. There.
Oh, thank you. Oh no, but there's a dent in the door.
Oh, yikes. Someone definitely dinged it and just left.
Ugh, that's terrible. I mean, I've been in fender benders before, but I never had this happen.
Yeah. And so I just want to remind our listeners, ding again can be a verb or a noun. To ding something, in this case, we use this as a verb. Someone definitely dinged it and just left. But again, we said you can find a ding in your car, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So we come out and you said, whoa, looks like someone hit your car.
Yeah, past tense of hit is hit, right?
Yep.
There you go. And then you said, look at this scratch over here, right? A scratch.
So I'm kind of evaluating the damage. So so I'm saying it's a scratch, like there's a problem with the paint. And then you said, I think it's a scuff, meaning maybe it can come off. And then you try and just a scuff. Yes. And then you said there, so you got it.
Yeah, I just want to explain that to our listeners. So retroactively, we added to the role play. What would be even more specific, guys, in your language, if you want to be precise, you could say, oh, I think it's just a scuff. this is downgrading the whole scenario, the whole
Yes.
situation for your friend, right?
Right.
You're being very verbal. Oh, no big deal. I think it's just a scuff.
It's just a scuff. Yeah. And then I said, but then I'm looking around and I said, oh no, but there's a dent in the door. So there's actual, that's now it's getting,
Yep.
not so good.
Yeah. And then I said, yikes, someone definitely dinged it and just left. Well, this does happen sometimes.
Right. So it's interesting because a ding isn't quite a dent, right? A ding you think of as lighter, but sometimes we just say that, you know, for the action of they hit you, right?
Yeah. You're not, exactly. Your friend's not going to say that's the wrong word, right?
Right, exactly.
It can be
exactly.
more, the meaning can be a little more broad in some cases.
Right. And they're not going to say, that wasn't they didn't ding it, they hit it. You know, no, it's going to.
Unless you're there, as we did earlier in the role play, and we're differentiating between it's a scratch. Right. Oh no, it's just a scuff. Oh, actually, it's a dent. That would be where it does matter, the word choice, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then so that would be called like a hit and run, right, Lindsay?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I think of a hit.
A hit and run sounds more serious, right?
Yeah. Well, I think of a hit and run as when. Well, let me see. When someone's in the car, right? Hit and run.
Well, I mean, it's also if you hit a pedestrian.
A pedestrian. I think of that actually.
Yeah, I think I think of that more, but I wonder.
I don't know.
This is just a not nice person.
Yeah.
And then I said, I mean, I've been in fender benders before, but never had this happen. So I'm basically saying I've never had someone just like do something to my car when I wasn't there and not write a note or something like that.
I know. Yeah. Oh, not good. But anyway, this ties in nicely with our series on cars. And why is it a connection skill, Michelle?
Oh, gosh. Well, number one, I mean, hopefully we don't have this happen to anybody, but you might need to talk to your insurance company and describe what happened. So actually that could be a whole other episode, how to actually really tell the story. But this one is just, you know, these things happen, unfortunately, and it's just a good way to be able to describe it, could connect you to others. So these are definitely great vocabulary words to know.
Yeah, good stuff today, Michelle. And I hope everything is cool this week with your car. No major issues. So let's knock on wood. And Michelle, I will see you in the next episode. You have a good day.
All right. Bye, Lindsay.
Bye.